Hello, thanks for joining me again. I'm the Badger Reborn, and today I'm going to talk about the Wheel of Time and rewrites that could happen for the TV show, detailing my thoughts on episode 8, which is the final episode of season 1. I'm also going to read some of your comments and give my thoughts on them. Before I do that though, I wanted to give a little update on my channel. Since this is the last episode of season 1, obviously, I don't plan to continue to do this same format and topic for season 2, since the only thing we know about it is that Rafe and the other writers have started writing it, but really no other details besides that. However, I also plan to continue making videos. It's more difficult for me to do in this semi-quarantine environment. By the way, I hope everyone stays safe, but I definitely want to keep doing it. So I plan to make more videos about other Wheel of Time related topics. If you have any thoughts on a video you'd like me to make or a topic you'd like me to talk about, let me know in the comments or in my Discord. I hope to have the next one out soon. I'd also like to thank everyone who's liked, commented on a video, or shared it with others. My channel has already been way more successful than I expected, which is awesome, and you guys are the reason for that, so thank you very much and please keep it up. This episode will have spoilers for The Eye of the World and The Great Hunt, so if you haven't read those two books, what are you doing with your life? Don't you know that we're staying at home more than usual? Get them finished! Alright, so when we last saw everyone in episode 7, Egwene had just been captured by the Shan-Chan. Nynaeve, Min, and Elaine are in Toman Head as well. Rand, Mat, Perrin, Loyal, Ingtar, Baron, and the rest of the Shannara group are in the portal stone as it's malfunctioning, and they're experiencing the flicker scene. Logain is in Tar Valon already, and has been gentled by Elaida earlier on. Galad Bornhald and Gawain Trakand are in the White Tower training to be warders. Alana is there as well. And finally, Moraine and Lan are traveling to Toman Head, and they're traveling fast. I've mentioned this before, but I just really wanted to establish how much I hope that they keep the flicker scene in the show. I loved Wheel of Time since from the Eye of the World, but Flicker I think was really the scene that established it as a series and a book that I was going to love in a unique way. Plus, I think it would just be fun for the actors and crew to do. So ideally, episode 8 is a massive finale. I'm picturing a 2-hour episode that really hooks new viewers and brings things to a close in a spectacular way. But even if it's just 1 hour, or maybe a little bit more, I think that can still bring things to a close in a really satisfying and awesome way. I'm really looking forward to it. I see episode 8, which hasn't had a title revealed yet, opening with Egwene in Shan-Chan captivity, learning the rules and what is expected of her as a Suldam. I think this might be pretty hard for some people to watch, and will definitely have a TV mature M rating. Next, Rand and the group would exit the Portal Stone onto Toman Head. While I think most of the focus of this episode, almost all, will be in Falma and Toman Head, I think we might get one scene in the White Tower just to kind of show Swan and Elaida. Maybe they're watching Galad and Gawain train or something, and they have an argument. This would just sort of establish all those characters in the same place with Logain as there as well, and it would establish Elaida having a strong support base in the tower, Swan being a clever politician, but those two really going head to head. Additionally, maybe we would see Gawain sort of supporting Elaida since Elaida's always been there for his mother, and Galad really unsure of what to do. In this final episode, I see it being basically divided into two halves, with the first half being focused on Egwene, as she's a Suldam, and on Nynaeve, Elaine, and Min as well, as they hide out from the Shan-Chan and try to come up with ways to help Egwene escape. And Min, of course, visits Egwene since she's able to walk about a little bit more freely. The second half would be more focused on Rand and that group as they sneak into the city and try to steal the horn and the dagger back. In a recent episode of The Dusty Wheel, which if you haven't checked it out is a really fun call-in type of show, they had Sarah Nakamura as a guest. Sarah is a consultant with the TV show who provides book information. She said that she doesn't know what the Shan-Chan accent sounds like in the show. Robert Jordan imagined it as Texan, but she hasn't heard that yet, so that indicates one of two things to me. Either no Shan-Chan talks in season 1, or more likely they haven't filmed the episodes that have Shan-Chan in them yet. And I think this squares up pretty nicely with which directors have been on set and which ones haven't. Either way, I think the duel with Turok isn't the climax here. It might be deleted entirely just to save time, since we're doing the whole Eye of the World climax in one episode. I think Rand and the group could still sneak in, steal the horn and the dagger, have a fight scene, but I don't think this would be as big of a deal as it is in the book. I haven't talked about the White Cloaks much in this first season, and that's a little bit of oversight on my part, and it's just hard to squeeze them in as well. But I'm not sure that they will be in this finale. It might just be the Shan-Chan who are attacking and overwhelming Rand and the group. But perhaps the White Cloaks have been a little bit more involved so far than I've mentioned, and they come down as well, just like they do in the books. Right as they're surrounded, Mat would blow the horn, the heroes would come back, and drive the Shan-Chan into the sea, just like they do in the books. This would be a really epic finale battle, but it wouldn't be over. Rand would be attacked by a Shamael. In my version, we don't see Ishi at the Eye of the World, and that's deliberate. I think that really brings more weight to his appearance here, since if he's defeated in the mid-season battle at the Eye of the World, and then just four 4-ish episodes later, he shows back up again, he doesn't seem like that much of a threat to Rand, and the viewers wouldn't be so scared. But if this is the first time he shows up, and he's got, the flame eyes and the flame mouth, and new viewers who haven't read the books would still think that he might be the actual Dark One, this could be really a weighty battle and feel like the real climax of a season. Like the Eye of the World battle, though, this Great Hunt battle is a little bit confusing for new readers and even established veteran readers as well sometimes, because the way that it's fought doesn't really flow with the way the One Power is used in future battles. I think this could be changed in a few ways to make it a little bit more clear and make more sense later on. I think either maybe they would just fight a regular duel with swords, probably not that, I don't think that's super likely, but it's a possibility. Or they could be still using the One Power, but in a little bit more obvious ways. Ishamael attacking Rand with the One Power, Rand just sort of fumbling about, doing just enough to stay alive as they continue the duel, and then they kind of move together to have that clash right at the end that Rand ultimately ends up winning but getting injured in. When Rand wins, we might see sort of a shockwave effect across the world, toppling false dragons and that kind of thing, but I don't think this is necessary, and I don't think it would really add much, especially since we've seen that previously at the Eye of the World. I think this would feel a little bit redundant if we did it again here. I also think it could fit really nicely with the themes Robert Jordan really favored and tried to establish. If the rest of the world doesn't hear about this through a grand magical happening, they just hear about it through gossip and rumors as they slowly spread throughout the world. And they're always twisted and wrong in some ways, but I think that's an important part of Robert Jordan's world. The season would end with the scene of Rand being injured and discovered by Min, who helps him. I think Min would be a little bit less into Rand than she is in the book at this point, but when Lanfear shows up, Lanfear would definitely make it clear that she views Rand as her property. By the way, this could be an appropriate time to bring up a theory that I have, which is that Lanfear used the true power here to heal Rand's side wound, but healed it only partially and blocked it open so that it could not be healed with the One Power. That's why no other Aes Sedai is able to heal it later on using either Saidar or Saidin. Lanfear might have done this because she wants Rand to be with her, and if he were to make that decision, perhaps she would heal the wound fully, or just sort of always leave it as something that slows him down and lowers his level of power just a little bit, because she's always been a little bit afraid and a little bit of jealous of Rand and Lews Therin as well. That's just a theory, but I think it fits pretty nicely and could really explain why that wound never heals, and I think it fits with Lanfear's character as well. So, the season ends the same way the Great Hunt ends. Let the dragon ride again on the winds of time. So, going at this pace, I know I left out things, and I know I left out some important things, and the TV show might as well. However, Rafe, in a recent Instagram post, indicated that he thinks it's kind of crazy how many cuts people make when their kind of fans are going through their own cuts and what they think, which is really exciting and really great to hear from Rafe. I know that he's a big fan of the books as well, and is going to try to keep as much in as he can, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they'll do versus what I'll do. I'm sure there'll be major differences, but I think it's been really fun as well to just sort of compare and see how things might go, what kind of things I would like, what I would dislike, and kind of see how it might play out. A more talented writer than me, which is not hard to do, with their staff could easily fix these holes that I've left and could make the season really fleshed out even going through 2 books, I think. At the beginning of this project, I thought this would feel really rushed if I tried to fit 2 books into one season, but it really doesn't. I think it can fit quite nicely. I would, of course, love it if they didn't go through 2 full books, just because that gives more time for character development and focusing on the small scenes that everyone loves. With writers as talented as Rafe and the staff he's put together, and with writers as big of fans of the books as not only Rafe but some of the other writers that he's hired are, I think they'll get enough of those character development and important small moments that we're really going to love it and see a lot of the books come out in the TV show. After going through these series of videos, I'm even more excited about the show than I was before. Given the writers and cast, Rafe and Sarah, and the budget that Amazon is putting into this show, I think it could be really fantastic and really blow our minds. I hope you're excited too. But let me know in the comments if you're excited or if you have some trepidation about the show and what might be causing that. I really appreciate those of you who have left comments on previous videos, and I'm going to go through some of those now and give my thoughts on them. If you're leaving the video now, please leave a like before you go and share it with other people. I'd appreciate that support. This comment section will have sort of full spoilers for the series, so if you haven't read it now, if you haven't read the full series, this will be a good time to check out. I'm going to hit on New Spring and some things after the Great Hunt, so if you stay with me and haven't read the books, just going to be careful, and now I'm going to hit some things that you haven't read yet. So in video 4, Bubba Monteiro wrote, I think that Galad and the White Cloaks will be cut off from the show. They work in the books, but there's no reason to keep this group in the show. If White Cloaks are in the show, they will be portrayed like religious fanatics and guys that hate the Aes Sedai, and we already have that in Game of Thrones in the Cersei arc, more or less. Similarities are there. And Morghese, she won't make it to the second episode. Elaine will be fighting for the throne of Andor sooner than we expect. Just some thoughts. And those are really interesting thoughts. With the White Cloak one, I think you're incorrect on that one, because we've already had a set photo of White Cloaks being attacked by a wolf, a little short video, so I think we can be pretty certain that White Cloaks will be in the show. However, they definitely might not be as much in the show as the books, and I do agree that they'll be presented as religious fanatics. I think they are in the books as well. I think that comes through pretty clearly sometimes, but they get a little bit of progression and change to kind of their culture and their values as the books and the series goes along. As for Morghese, I wouldn't be shocked if you're right about that. I could see her dying pretty early on. She doesn't in the books, obviously, but perhaps that might work better in the show, sort of trim a character out. But remember that Rafe said that he thinks it's kind of crazy how many main characters that we're cutting. Me and other fans, well, he didn't specifically mention me, but fans are cutting when they go through and kind of mock how a season 1 might go. So I think Morghese might stay. I think he's kind of giving an indication that big characters like that aren't going to be cut. On video 4, Tribe Cicero said, "Love your ideas for Elida. Making such an executive decision about Logain would be really divisive among the Aes Sedai and start to build up her support base for later happenings." And I totally agree. I think having Elida presented as a character who has a lot of support with the Aes Sedai would really make sense and is pretty necessary to set up the upcoming conflict between her and Swan and kind of show why the Tower would split rather than just siding with Swan. We need to know that Elida, despite having her detractors and her opponents, also has a lot of support. Next up, Dana Lu Hu said, "Wait, did you mention a bath scene in Faldara and I missed it? There was a casting call for a bath scene." Which is a really good point. You did not miss it. I forgot to mention that bath scene. That's definitely going to be something that will happen in Shinar. The casting company has put out a call for extras to be used in a nude bathing scene, and that's obviously fits with the Shanaran baths, so I think they'll have that in there. And that brings up the topic of nudity and sex in the Wheel of Time. That's something I plan to make a future video about, kind of detailing why and how that might be necessary, kind of how that might fit with the rating they'll use, and that kind of thing. The next comment comes from Glenn Myron, who's talking about video 2, which was episodes 2 and 3. So I don't see them having the Red Aja actually encourage Logain to put himself forward as the Dragon Reborn. That is supposed to be a lie that Logain goes along with at Swan and Leanne's behest when they arrive in Saladar, not something that actually happened. And I think people are kind of divided about this. I know I sort of disagree with you. I think it might be a lie, and Logain might not even believe it's true, but I think Robert Jordan made it intentionally vague as to whether it is true. Swan maybe even doesn't know that it's true and makes this story up, but I don't think that means that it's untrue. I think Swan might have unintentionally hit on a really big truth that not the Red Aja, but the Black Aja are propping up false dragons, convincing men to believe that they're the Dragon Reborn, and then they get taken down. And the Red Aja can of course deny it because the core of the Red Aja doesn't even know about it. It's the Black. So in that video, Glenn and I had a conversation about it, and then he also said, Logain was also leading an army when Padden Fane rolled into Emond's Field. He was the false dragon that Fane was telling the villagers about. If you have Fane tell tales of a false dragon in some other nation other than Gildan, then I guess you could get away with showing Logain start out his own little crusade. I think that type of timeline inconsistency can still work totally fine in a show. I think it can be indicated to us through time of year change, or maybe just even like one of the little graphics on the screen that Logain is sort of doing this stuff earlier, or it could just be changed up a little bit. Maybe Fane comes in and tells them about Mazrim Taim or a different false dragon, and Logain just hasn't gotten a start yet, and those timelines are changed a little bit. I think that's the type of issue that the TV show will make with no real difficulty or no hesitation, because it doesn't change the core of the book or change any significant future events. Glenn Myron also said, if you want a good match for Baron, go look to Imelda Staunton, best known for playing Dolores Umbridge in the Harry Potter films. She has a wide range of characters, and he also mentions the sort of baggage of playing Dolores Umbridge. And as good as she does look, I think she does look a lot like Baron. That baggage just holds it back for me, because when I see her, I see Dolores Umbridge, and I don't want to see Dolores Umbridge when I look at Baron. But I do like the casting idea because she does look really great. The next comment up is from Gakbei. He said, speaking of Taim, I think he should be Demon Dread, with Shara being cut. And that's a really controversial, multiple controversial things, really. There's a lot of speculation, of course, or it's probably even Robert Jordan might have said himself that he had originally planned for Taim to be Demon Dread in disguise, but then changed things up and went a different route, and of course had Demon Dread and Shara. I don't like the idea of Taim being Demon Dread, and it kind of fits in some ways, but I just like Time being a person from this age who is ambitious and decides to turn to the Dark One and becomes a Forsaken. I love that we have that type of different character, and so it's just not all the thousand-year-old Forsaken who are all the big bads. I really like Taim in his story arc. As for Shar being cut, I could maybe see that happening in the TV show, but it's just such a wow, bam moment when it happens in the books, and I hope they keep that in the show as well, just with maybe a little bit more foreshadowing. So another quick comment from Dana Liu Hu. She said, "I don't mind seeing Fane on a Trolloc leash." She said, "I wouldn't mind seeing Fane on a Trolloc leash in Shadar Logoth, but I want his connection to Mordeth to remain a secret until Faldara." I love that idea of seeing Fane on the Trolloc leash. That would be crazy and really quite cool scene. As for the connection to Mordeth remaining a secret, I could definitely see that happening. I think it could be sort of a nice reveal moment. And then Dana, as well as a lot of other people, also mentioned, isn't the road from Baerlon to Cairhien through Caemlyn? Why not? Why go to Cairhien first and avoid Caemlyn? Doesn't make sense on the map. Those are really good points. It doesn't make that much sense on the map, which kind of brings up a topic that I've kind of thought back and forth on, and I haven't heard Rafe or Sarah or anyone mention it. I don't know if the map will be exactly the same from the book to the TV show. I'm really curious to see how that goes, and hopefully someone can ask Rafe or Sarah or somebody in an upcoming Q&A whether the map will be exactly the same or whether there might be changes, kind of moving countries around, inverting things, shifting borders. We'll really see how that goes. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed the video, and comment as to whether you're excited about the show or have some trepidations about things. Let me know what your thoughts are there. Give it a like and subscribe, and share it with other people as well. I'd love to grow this community and just get my videos out to more people. I'll see you next time. Hope you like my new backdrop. I don't know if it'll be staying, but it's at least hopefully working out pretty well for this video. We'll see. I also love to show you the setup I have because it's just kind of funny. I'll do that now. If the camera rotation, I'm about to pick up the camera and swing it around, so if that's going to make you like sick or dizzy, I'm going to tune out for a second. So this is what I'm looking at. Got a light bulb, my phone light, and then my computer, just so that my face is lit enough.